Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Triple Play Fantasy Baseball Prospect Show with your hosts, Marty Tallman and Cristian Crespo. Today's a super exciting day. We're going to break down one of the best organizations in baseball, especially when it comes to prospects. The top 10 Tampa Bay Rays prospects for 2002. Damn, man, I am just super pumped for this show. So, thank you for following along. You know, we've been going through all of the AL East, and we're going to continue to do so. And right when we're back from this, we're going to break them down. Super excited for this one, Cristian. Man, this is going to be a good one. So the Tampa Bays are considered one of the smartest, most data-driven teams in Major League Baseball. Last year, the Rays won 100 games and made another deep run into the playoffs. But I think what the most amazing thing of what they're doing in 2021 is that four of the Rays' top 5 prospects graduated, and that it's in Randy Arozarena, who won this thing we call Rookie of the Year. Pretty good. You might have heard of this other guy, Wander Franco, the former #1 prospect in baseball for 2 years. Yeah, he's Wander Franco. Yeah, he had the longest on base streak for any rookie ever. He's pretty incredible. Yeah. Shane McClanahan, Luis Patino, those guys are gone. You know, they're gone. So goodbye.
Yeah, so their farm system is depleted right now, right?
Right. That's what you would think. But it's not even close. So for 2022, they still have plenty of talent in the organization because, like I said, their emphasis on the farm system. Cristian, number one, how are you doing? And number two, just tell me about the Rays organization in general.
So, I mean, first of all, I'm doing great. You know, just back on this show that we love so much.
The Call Up.
The Call Up, the original.
But
no, I mean the thing about the Rays farm system, not only their farm system, but their organization as a whole, is that they're just there's a winning culture. They won they won the championship at every level of the minor leagues this past season.
Yep.
And that just goes to show what they're doing with their organization. It's ridiculous. And then you look at their top prospects now, a lot of them came up towards the end of last year and started making an impact already. But they're just so deep throughout the entire system. They continue to build and develop at such a rate. It's incredible. It's like a well-oiled machine down there. And like we said, I mean, they just graduated 4, and you would think that was it. You know, they'd be resetting the farm system. Nope. They win at every level. It's ridiculous.
I mean, everything that they're doing is absolutely incredible. And as you know, fans of other organizations, we look at the Rays and we kind of look at they don't pay their guys. They don't really need to. I mean, honestly, they replace Blake Snell with Shane Baz.
Yeah, why?
You know what I mean? It's just absolutely incredible. So let's dive into their top 10, break each one of them down. These are Cristian's top 10 prospects, as he is our prospector here for Triple Play Fantasy, starting with his number 1 guy, which may be a curveball, no pun intended. But let's start with Mr. Josh Lowe. So the outfielder here, Josh Lowe, graduated from the 2016 draft, first rounder, 16th overall. In 2021, I mean, he's up there with the Volpes as far as just blasting onto the scene and kind of just changing his trajectory and what we expected out of him. So in 2021, over 111 games at AAA, he slashed 291, 381, 535, 22 bombs, 26 stolen bases. He even got to play. He got 1 at bat in the majors. How do you feel? Tell me about your number 1 guy, Josh Lowe.
He is just such a tantalizing prospect, and you know, you throw around words like that, but it's just the Rays are just so deep. Each one of them is just almost elite level prospects, and Josh Lowe is no different than that. When he first got into the system, he struggled a little bit with his timing. You kind of see it. And you saw it this past season too in the minor leagues. Like I said, timing, his lower half was a little off. Mm-hmm. But he really just started to develop and kind of mesh it all together. He had some drift as well, which is kind of what threw everything. Okay. But he, as the season progressed, he found a way to kind of stay back and really just drive the ball and be able to hit the ball hard to all fields. And I mean,
The Rays
he has a
coaching
chance.
right there at
Yeah,
every level is so elite that they're able to take these men and take them to the next level within 6 months to a year.
yeah, but I mean, he's a potential five-tool player. That's the kind of guy that he is. As long he does have kind of a strikeout issue, but he's a young guy. He's going to continue to hit those lumps. He's going to continue to develop. He's going to be their everyday center fielder, easy. Like he has been molded into that, and he's drawn a lot of comparisons to different players. I mean, from the Kyle Tuckers to kind of like Charlie Blackmon-esque, but I mean, he's gonna be a fun guy. I mean, he fits right into the mold.
Mhm.
Another young stud that they have.
Yep. And, the Rays love to have as many center fielders, I think, as possible. Pretty much their whole outfield is
Yeah,
usually a bunch of athletes. So, yeah, he's going to
yeah.
fit in really well there. And I'm just curious, why do you have Lowe over Boz as your number one guy?
Well, to me, so Shane Baz is another stud. I mean, it's kind of like 1A, 1B. Um, Shane Baz had elite level like walk rates in the minor leagues
Mhm.
that, a lot of people were like, "Oh man, his command is elite level," but it's one of those things that I don't think will hold over. Like
Okay.
he had an elite level walk rate, like I said, but it's not something that he's not gonna be able to maintain that.
Okay.
Um, and Shane Baz is somebody I got to see in person multiple times in 2019 when he was pitching in Low A, and
Yeah.
he absolutely dominated.
Yep.
He was able to use his slider, his fat, like just the way he was able to play off of all of his pitches was incredible to watch at such a low level at such a young age.
Mhm.
He's just developed so quick, and like I said, it's essentially 1A, 1B
Got it.
with these
Got it.
guys. I mean,
So it's
you
nothing
can't
that,
go wrong.
there's no downgrade on Boz, and we'll hop right into him. I mean, he's your number two guy. I mean, 2017 draft, he was 12th overall. You touched on his minor league numbers. I mean, pretty incredible what the guy was doing in 2021 at Double A, moved up to Triple A, the 2.06 ERA, got you 113 Ks with only 13 walks. Hops up to the major leagues and just shows you just what they're doing down there in Tampa and how amazing what they're building with their prospects. So 3 games in over 13.1 innings, 2.03 ERA, 0.68 WHIP. The K's carried right over, only 3
Yeah,
walks. I mean, what
that's
can
what
you
I'm saying.
say?
Like elite level control. Like
Yeah.
his control was very good, and like I'm going to continue to say it, it's 1A, 1B.
Yep.
But for me, it's just prospects are just so tough to project, especially pitchers. Like pitchers just phase in and out all the time. You get guys that pop up every single year that you never even heard of before, and
Mhm.
those are the ones that you're like, wow. And obviously, you have these elite level guys as well that also make such a big impact at the major league level. And Boz is going to be one of those guys. I have no doubt. He has such like a lethal combination between his fastball and slider, like I said, and he was able to develop that changeup as well. Um, he's just going to be so fun to watch, and the Rays do a really good job in kind of building their guys up, and like you see it, the use of the opener, that was something that they
Yep.
created
They championed
essentially,
it for sure.
and they kind of did it with McClanahan, but they were doing it with Tyler Glasnow
Yep.
and slowly building him up. And I mean, he is an elite level ace.
Mhm.
He had Tommy John, so he'll be down this
And
year.
luckily for him, he got
Um,
out of the Pirates organization. He was able to hop on, one of the
oh,
best.
Boz as well.
Yeah.
Boz came over in that same trade.
Yep.
So it's like what they're doing is just incredible. It's
Let me ask you this, Christian. Do you see Boz as long term as a starting pitcher or moving to maybe one of the best closers in baseball?
No, he's a starting pitcher.
Got it.
Yeah, I think he's a starter.
Yeah. All right, number 3. Let's look at Curtis Mead. First base, second base, third base. He's coming out of 2018 draft, international signing out of Australia, which you love to see.
Hmm.
2021, over 104 games at A, high A, triple A, any kind of A, you got it. He can hit 321.
Yeah.
He batted 321. He got you the 15 home runs. He had 69 RBIs, 11 stolen bases. Break down the Aussie. What do we love here?
Yeah, Curtis Mead is actually one of my favorite prospects in all of baseball. He's
Okay.
just in such a crowded farm system, he's just a sleeper. Like nobody talks about him. You don't hear anything about him, but you look at his numbers and it's just like, oh my goodness. and just the fact that he can play basically all over the infield.
Yeah.
He's just such an athlete. So relaxed at the plate. I mean, it's an extremely advanced approach at the plate for somebody so young. And like I said, nobody really talks about him. I mean, other than if you're not as in tune with prospects as some people are, you wouldn't
Yeah.
know that. And he has such a great eye at the plate. I mean, he has such a high contact percentage of pitches in the zone. He's a very advanced hitter. I'm a big fan of Kersey.
Do you have a player comp for him?
With Jed Jerko, kind of.
Okay. Yeah.
That kind of athlete, be able to play all around. He definitely has a better, not definitely, but he does have a better hit tool.
Yeah.
Than what Jed Jerko has, and I think his game will translate a lot better, and he'll be able to, just continue that throughout as he continues to progress. I mean, like I said, advanced approach, and I think he has, all the tools to become a plus hitter.
Do you have an ETA on him? When do you expect to see him up in the majors?
2023. The Rays don't rush guys. I mean, he could be up at the end of this year. Like, I think he's that talented and he can do it. But they've also have so many infielders. I mean, Taylor Walls, Brujan, Franco, all these guys. I mean, they just traded Wendell because they could. They've got so much infield. They just got so much depth that they're they benefit from the fact that they don't have to rush these guys, so they're able to develop them properly. But I mean, he's 20 years old. He's a young guy. So
I was saying, speaking of infield depth, here's that guy you're talking about, Vidal Brujan. So second base, outfielder, can do a little bit of it all. Out of the Dominican Republic, 2014 international signee. They obviously signed him super young. In 2021, over 103 games at AAA, he batted .262, got a .345 OBP, the .440 slug, got you 12 home runs, 56 RBIs, 44 stolen bases, which is just wild. And he had a cup of coffee up at the major leagues. Obviously, nothing really panned out over those 10 games. But, how do you long-term see Brujan stepping up in this organization?
And Brujan is just another one of those guys. I mean, he's able to hit from both sides of the plate. He's definitely better from the left side than his right, which goes to what a lot of people are saying, that switch hitters should probably stop switch hitting.
And that's what I wanted to ask you about that. How do you we'll breakdown of that. How do you feel overall about switch hitting? Do you see a place for it over the next 10, 15 years? Or are you going to see
Unless, like, Chipper Jones was maybe like the last one that should probably ever switch hit.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw what it did for Cedric Mullins. I mean, Ozzy Albies is another perfect example.
That's the one that sticks out to me.
Who should stop switch hitting?
Yep.
Because he cannot hit a right-handed pitcher. Like, his splits are incredible, and Ozzy Albies is like such a talented player, and Vidal Brujan could be somebody like that. I mean, the power should be he's going to hit like around 15 to 20 home runs in the major league level. But you saw stolen bases. He has that elite speed, which is going to be – and his glove is nothing to just shy away from. I mean, he's an elite athlete. So his game is going to translate well. He hit his lumps when he got to the big leagues. But, I mean, it's just another guy that he's gonna be a dynamic player.
Do you see him? I think he'll be up for 2022. Maybe starting with at the beginning of the season, depending how spring training goes. Do you see him actually in the starting lineup?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think he can be. I mean, second base is probably Brennan Lowe, to be completely honest. And then center field, you have Josh Lowe.
But with that profile with Lowe, man, he could strike himself out of that. I mean, he's striking out 35% of the time. The power's there, obviously, right? But
he could also play outfield. So he could play a corner spot. Meadows will DH, and Brujan could slide right into second base. I mean, they also have Kiermaier in the outfield. There's been rumors that they want to try to move his expensive $12 million contract. But, I mean, Brujan he can start opening day for them, and he'll fit right in.
There you go. All right, number 5, Mr. Taj Bradley. And I had to pick the sweet picture with him and his mom, because how cute is that? I mean, a right-hander out of the 2018 draft, a 5th rounder, went 150 overall. In 2021, over 23 games at A and high A, mean, just absolutely phenomenal numbers. I mean, 1.83 ERA, 0.93 WHIP, 123 Ks with only 31 walks. Another one of these arms, break down Bradley.
Bradley is just like you said, a big arm. I mean, you could tell the Rays were targeting him in the draft because they paid him over slot as well. They knew what they had in him. I mean, his fastball sits like mid to high 90s. He lives at the top of the zone too. He's able to just blow it by guys, but his command is kind of the thing that, we're going to have to continue to follow. But like I said, he's just so young. It's one of these guys that they're going to slowly develop, and he's just a projectable like back end of the rotation arm.
Okay.
He's going to fit in. He's going to be just that guy that you just throw out there and you forget he's there. And there are a ton of those guys that have successful careers in the big league level. And Taj Bradley, yeah, I think he can. He's just got to refine some things. His secondary pitches
do. Yeah. Let's say in this perfect world, right? They develop him and his curveball actually becomes, if let's say average or maybe a little above average. Where's his ceiling then?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, other than fastball off, curveball slider, I mean, that's really it right now. He has to develop that third pitch. And if he does develop that third pitch, that's when he could become that back end of the rotation option. But if not, I think he can be an elite arm at the back of a bullpen as well. He's so, like I said, he's just young. You got to see how he continues to develop and he continues to mature. He just got, he needs his first full season. He got drafted in 2018, so it's been, but he had
his ETA is
2023, 2024, like mid 2023. But he got drafted like a lot of these minor leaguers. They lost a year and he lost that development. That hurts a lot, and it's affected a lot of guys. I mean, you saw this past season, and I brought it up a few times over social media, and I've talked to a couple of people about it as well. But all these rookies that came up and struggled last season, like they were at the alternate site the year before, facing their own teammates repeatedly over and over.
Yeah, no traveling.
So if they had, I mean, some guys, they played other, some teams played other teams that were close to them in proximity, so they were able to go and have those games against each other, those handful of games against other teams. But for the most part, you hear all these reports about how, oh, this guy was great at the alt side. You're seeing the same pitchers, you're seeing the same hitters consistently, so you're going to know what's coming. So all these rookies that came up, they hit their lumps, and the lumps that they should have been working through the previous year against other minor league organizations to get that full year of development. That's something that a lot of people seem to forget. So that's why, like Jared Kelenics, that struggled mightily when he first got up, and then towards the end of the year, you saw him really like showcase what he's able to do, and that's because he was thrown into the fire essentially, because he was brought up, and he was seeing a lot of stuff for the first time, which he should have been seeing previously in the minor leagues. And so you saw, like I said, you saw him build slowly back up. He got sent back down, and then he slowly found his swing again, came right back up, started to showcase that elite level talent that a lot of people were talking about before. And, that's one of these things that you'll see this season. Like I said, Kelenic, Alex Kirilloff is another one, somebody that was high profile prospects that come up. They don't have success right away, but you'll see this year, it's going to be way different.
Yep. Yeah, and backing up the last 6 through 10 here, so some more great players. Number 6, Greg Jones. Number 7, Carlos Colmenares. 8, Jonathan Aranda. I think it's Aranda. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, Aranda.
Nick Bitsko, and then Xavier Edwards. But you maybe want to talk about number 11 on this list. Who's the guy you want to talk about?
Not essentially number 11, but it's actually somebody that just joined their farm system, and I mentioned how he joined before in Joey Wendell trade, but Cameron Meisner came over from the Marlins. He had a really good Arizona Fall League too, and Cameron Meisner was in the same draft as JJ Bleday for the Marlins.
Okay,
and so those guys, college advanced bats that drafted, and they came out, and Meisner is actually somebody that a lot of people liked, but because he wasn't JJ Bleday in the same
Mhm.
draft class, it was he was kind of in the shadows. But I mean, you see what the Rays do in their development, and Meisner was already somebody that a lot of people liked in the Marlins organization. Now, just imagine what he'll be able to do with the Rays. And
Yeah.
he's somebody that could come up this year and produce for them already. And I mean, you see 6 through 10, another one, Xavier Edwards. Xavier Edwards is a nice bat, but he's just batting average.
Right.
He
Yeah.
and that's somebody that another person that I was able
And
to
he's
see in
super
2019
inefficient with
as
the stolen
well.
bases too.
Yeah, and like I think he has like one career home run
Yeah.
in the minor leagues. But I saw him as well in Fort Wayne when he was with the Padres organization before he got traded over for FAM, and you could just see it. I mean, he's able to his contact level is. I mean, his ability to make contact with the ball is really good. He's able to make a lot of contact and use his speed to get on base a lot.
Mhm.
But other than that, you're not going to get much. You're not going to get much else.
Gotcha. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
overall, I mean, 2022 is going to be just another amazing year for the Rays
yeah.
organization from actually, playing in just the majors and in the minor leagues. So I'm super excited to
Yeah.
see all of Cristian's top 10. As always, like, subscribe, and comment on this on the call up. You can always find us at Triple Play Fantasy. I'm Marty Tallman at Marty_Tallman on Twitter. Cristian, where can the readers and listeners find you?
Yeah, so on Twitter as well at @CCrest_26. I'm gonna be, just continue to producing a lot of stuff, a lot of
Blue
content, a
Jays,
lot of
baby. Blue
Blue
Jays are
Jays
next.
next. Finish up the AL
Exciting.
East and keep going.
All right. Well, we're going to get going. Love to see you guys next time. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff so we can bring you even more great content. See you next time, guys.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.